Hello, church. So here's our devotional for Tuesday, January 27th. As we continue along after having got Proverbs started. If you didn't catch yesterday's, make sure to listen to Eugene Peterson's introduction to it because he did some really good work on the importance of wisdom and also laying out Proverbs as a manual for our living. So there have been a few thoughts that I had popped into my head, which I'll be sharing a little bit. But let me go ahead and do our first portion as we continue in Proverbs chapter 1 in our next section. The NRSV entitles this portion of wisdom instruction, Warnings Against Evil Companions. Hear, my child, your father's instruction, and do not reject your mother's teaching. For they are a fair garland for your head and pendants for your neck. My child, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait for blood. Let us wantonly ambush the innocent. Like Sheol, let us swallow them alive and whole, like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of costly things. We shall fill our houses with booty. Throw in your lot among us, we will all have one purse. My child, do not walk in their way. Keep your foot from their paths, for their feet run to evil, and they hurry to shed blood. For in vain is the net baited while the bird is looking on, yet they lie in wait to kill themselves and set an ambush for their own lives. Such is the end, of all who are greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its possessor. Related to the warning against evil companions, I had a few of those kid instructional lines from growing up, which one, if your friends all jumped off of a bridge, would you do it? My mom had the awkwardness of having me be a person, was kind of like, well, I mean, not if I'm going to die, but yeah, if I'm jumping into some water, I'll absolutely do that. And I actually saw a video of my sons when they were staying with their cousin James, and they were up in Schuylkill. I can't remember the body of water that they were jumping into, but watch them all go off. And good gosh, I would have done it too. Don't get me wrong. I probably would have jumped in too, but it's a different experience as a parent. If you lay down with the dogs, you're going to get fleas. That's another great truism in there. You made your bed, now lie in it is another part of those warnings. Now, we uplift that because we do continue to have this sense of wisdom and instruction that will be passed on. Very often for our parents, it's things that they heard from their parents and that they are trying to convey. And we can approach Proverbs in a similar way, that this is offering instructions and wisdom for those who are striving to learn, more importantly, to be a people of faith in God. Part of the reason for continuing into Proverbs after doing Psalms is I do really appreciate Eugene Peterson's translation of Psalms. I think he does some neat stuff with it. And even though I'm not always partial to that compared to a more traditional translation, it makes us think about it. It shifts the context. And also, I think defining Peterson as being very folksy, the big phrase is using a contemporary idiom, but he's trying to speak a language that is more familiar and like it. He entitles his, we need to caveat that. Peterson actually breaks it a little bit differently here than we had in the NRSV. So while the NRSV entitles it Warnings Against Evil Companions, Peterson does his next section as Start with God, which was those last few verses that concluded our first reading. So we are going to repeat that part again, and then it'll start sounding a little more familiar to what you just heard from the RSV. In RSV, the instruction: start with God. Start with God. The first step in learning is bowing down to God. Only fools thumb their noses at such wisdom and learning. And the NRSV, it was the beginning of the the beginning of learning. This I just lost it. Wait, the beginning of wisdom. Yeah, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. All right, sorry, I couldn't get that phrase. That helped. Now, here's where it continues for some of those warnings. Pay close attention, friend, to what your father tells you. Never forget what you learned at your mother's knee. Wear their counsel like flowers in your hair, like rings on your fingers. Dear friend, if bad companions tempt you, don't go along with them. If they say, let's go out and raise some hell, let's beat up some old man, mug some old woman. Let's pick them clean and get them ready for their funerals. We'll load up on top quality loot. We'll haul it home by the truckload. Join us for the time of your life. With us at Share and Share Alike. Oh, friend, don't give them a second look. Don't listen to them for a minute. They're racing to a very bad end, hurrying to ruin everything they lay hands on. Nobody robs a bank with everyone watching. Yet that's what these people are doing. They're doing themselves in. When you grab all you can get, that's what happens. The more you get, the less you are. Just a really neat conclusion there. The more you get, the less you are, the more possessions. I remember having a conversation. So when I went to Ghana when I was in seminary, and one of the pieces that I picked up while they were there was some Ghanaian proverbs and wisdom that was shared. And at that moment in my life, it wasn't a great interest. It was just something that I was curious about and wanted to pick up, and wound up sharing that book with a man from the church I was attending at the time while I was in seminary, and just having a conversation about the importance of wisdom and teachings, and in that case, in different cultures and how it's approaching it. So hopefully, this will be a good opportunity for you to get into some of the depths of Proverbs as we continue in our manual for living. Alrighty, have a great day. We'll be back with you tomorrow. See you later.